Hey everybody, it's Lavender Town, and lately I've been seeing a lot of people playing this text-based life simulator game called BitLife, and I thought that it would be really fun to try and draw all the main events of my BitLife character's life. So the character that BitLife randomly generated us is named Isabella Walker, a girl born in San Jose in the United States. She is pretty healthy, very smart, pretty good looking, but only about 50% happy, though I guess I can't blame her, she's only just been born. So her parents are Selena Walker, who is an assistant principal at the public school, and Mark Walker, who is a junior business analyst at Olympus Insurance. They seem like pretty normal parents. Though he did take Isabella to go paintballing when she was only 6, so maybe he's not that normal. It seems like when they're little kids, there's not a lot they can do, and that's made even worse by the fact that apparently San Jose had no interesting children's movies. But luckily her parents are here to take her going parkouring and also crocheting with them, so I guess Isabella won't be totally bored. So now things are finally moving. Her parents are trying to make her join a club, apparently choosing only the nerdiest possible clubs to choose from, which works just fine for me because I definitely would pick drama club if I had these options, though Model UN sounds fun too. And apparently the kids of San Jose High don't understand how cool it is to be in drama club because Isabella immediately starts getting bullied. Joke's on the bully though, because when you pick on someone who's as straight-laced as Isabella, you're gonna get tattled on. As if it's not bad enough that Isabella just got bullied, but now she has fibromyalgia too, which I believe is a chronic illness, but I decided to go to the doctor anyway and hope that somebody can help Isabella. So we have two options, Liam Baker or Autumn Carver, and I love the name Autumn Carver, but she did not have a solution to fibromyalgia, and neither did Liam Baker, so I guess I'll just have her take her driver's license test. Since it only had one super easy question, she passed with flying colors. So Isabella wants to ask out this guy named Jacob Oakley, and it says that she thinks he's pretty cute, but then the game starkly disagrees with her. But I thought she should probably go for it because, I mean, hey, you're in your teen years, you might as well give it a shot. And they immediately got in an argument about the meaning of life, which is pretty bad because that's kind of an important thing to agree upon in a long-term relationship. But they just agreed to disagree, and it's okay. I kept trying to heal her from her fibromyalgia, and finally Autumn Carver came through for us. She somehow pumpkin spiced us to good health. Unfortunately, Isabella still can't celebrate with a movie because she doesn't find any movies interesting. At age 17, Isabella gets a pretty severe fever, so I sent her back to Autumn, who says she's in good health. So since modern medicine was abandoning her once again, I sent her to the gym to sweat off the fever the old-fashioned way, where she got a staph infection. But luckily Autumn cleared that up just in time for her to graduate. So I really wanted Isabella to go to college. It seemed like the type of thing she would do, but she was turned down for a scholarship, and then her parents wouldn't help her with the tuition, so I decided to send her straight into the working world so she wouldn't have tons and tons of debt. All the jobs were looking pretty blah, and I was really not sure what I was going to pick for her until I saw this sparkling option of an exorcist. I picked it as a joke, and she's apparently a perfect fit, so Isabella's an exorcist now. I thought she could go to the movies to celebrate her new job, and that went about how you'd expect it. So apparently she celebrated some other way, because now she's pregnant. Which is a bummer because she hasn't even gotten her first paycheck yet, but I guess we'll keep the baby and hope that things don't completely fall apart from here. As Isabella is an exorcist, I decided to name him Damien, and apparently he got his father's last name even though we're not married, which kind of bothers me. I did immunize him though because I don't want him to die. And apparently Jacob was so moved by Isabella's excellent parenting that he decided to propose to her. I actually decided to have her say no because for whatever reason I wasn't really totally sold on Jacob quite yet. But apparently Isabella is pretty sold because she's pregnant again, and I thought she needed a little bit of a change in her life because things were getting a little samey. I wanted them to immigrate to Japan, but Japan said no, so we went to Italy instead. It was $10,000, but Jacob and Damien are cool with going, so I thought that it might be fun for Isabella to go there. And especially because that's where the Vatican is, I thought it might be a good place for our exorcism career to truly flourish. Luckily, the Pisa Community Church needed an exorcist, and since Jacob was so supportive of the move, I decided to have her propose to him, and then they are gonna get married after all. They had their second son, who I named Cain, and he's pretty smart, so that's good. The BitLife devs attacked us while we were trimming the bush and offered us a car to turn on notifications, and I said no, though I kind of regret that for Isabella's sake because it turns out cars are actually pretty expensive and maybe it would have been better for me to just turn those notifications on, but I didn't want to be pushed around by no game devs. Isabelle and Jacob honeymooned in Gangnam, South Korea, which seems fun, and it cost less than our immigration, so that wasn't too big of a deal. I decided she wouldn't make him sign a prenup because their net worth was still pretty close, and then they got married. There's apparently rabid dogs in Italy, so she tries to capture and relocate it and is unsuccessful. But her dog trouble's far from over. She witnesses a monk being cruel to a dog. She tries to intervene and he assaults her, severing her calf and poking her waist. Her health and happiness are at 0% and he's taken away by the police. I sent her to the doctor to try to get her healthier, but according to Valentino Gelli, she's in good health, so I just have her meditate to try to ignore the pain because I don't know what else to do for her. And then she tries to cheer herself up by watching some toy unboxings with Damien. Her monk-related concussion didn't suddenly make her appreciate movies, so that's still a no. I asked for a raise for her because she really needs the money, but they also say no from that. So I get her some acupuncture to try to help with her extremely low health bar, and I decide that they probably need a car. I don't even think they have a house, so some kind of shelter would be good. I get them a red used Subaru, and we're pregnant again. Jacob does not want to renew our wedding vows, which makes me very annoyed, but in light of our new daughter, I decide not to divorce him on the spot. And Isabella decides that the first thing she should do with her newborn infant daughter is to teach her archery, so apparently she's just as weird as her parents were. And then I thought it might be okay for her to try something a little bit less straight-laced. So she lost a bunch of money in the casino, and I wanted her to just win it back really quick so that Jacob wouldn't find out, and then we lost more money. And then I thought, well, if she does a big bet and just wins, then it's all fine and she might even make some money. And that's actually what happens. The important part is that she knows when to walk away, so she takes her winnings, and apparently she's addicted to gambling now, so that's another thing to deal with. I feel like Isabella needs a higher paying job to pay for her new gambling addiction, but it turns out that all the high paying jobs require that you at least went to some kind of university, so that's a bit of an issue. She feels the pull of the casino again, so I send her back, and she bets an extraordinarily high amount of money and then loses it devastatingly. But despite our terrible gambling addiction, Jacob still wants to take us to the art museum, which apparently Isabella hated. I don't know if she just doesn't like art or if he's no fun to hang out with. I don't know. She's also concerned that her father is in a crime organization, so I decide to send her back to the United States. Since all Isabella's sons are adults, they stay in Italy, but Charlotte comes back with us. And then Isabella spends some nice time with her parents. It's at this point that Isabella realizes if she doesn't go back to school, she's never going to be able to get a higher paying job than her exorcism job, so she decides to go into nursing school and pay for it with a loan because her parents still won't pay for it. She still hates movies, just as she always has, and then some creeper named Neil propositions her, but she turns him down. After studying hard in university, she graduates and tries to get into medical school where she is rejected again for some reason. So she goes back to being an exorcist dejectedly, and she tries some octopus, which gives her immediate food poisoning. And then if things weren't bad enough, her dad dies at the age of 85 from old age. Now, she's kind of hurting for money at this point, but luckily somebody offers her $15,000 to go bring a package to Colombia, and she gets all the money and nothing bad happens, so that's interesting. Then her mother also dies, leaving her $550,000. Then, in somewhat of an accidental plot twist, I click on this sexuality tab for the first time and realize that she's been feeling homosexual tendencies this whole time. So she has to divorce Jacob and give away a ton of her inheritance money to him because we didn't sign a prenup. Then she meets Evelyn Heron, who is a grandmother and retired mail carrier. They start going out and they go on a series of extremely cute dates to the water park, to do gardening, even to go to an amusement park. So I'm just picturing these cute little old ladies running around Disneyland on like their first or second date. So since she's getting up in years, Isabella just pops the question right away, and Evelyn says yes. Though Evelyn does want her to sign a prenup because Evelyn is worth over $1 million. I was a little torn about this at first, but then I realized Isabella probably wouldn't take it too personally since she just saw what happens when you don't sign a prenup. She does get Botox for the wedding, which doesn't go that great, and then she retires from being an exorcist after many, many years. Sadly, their marriage is cut short because Evelyn dies at the age of 82, leaving Isabella almost $2 million. I decide to send Isabella to the psychiatrist to make sure that she's okay, and then she gets a facelift, which makes her super attractive all of a sudden. So now that she's rich and beautiful, she decides to go to medical school with her fortune, because this is something she's tried to do over and over throughout her life. In general, she's a pretty hardworking student, though she does try nitrous oxide in a crazy college moment. And then as soon as she graduates, she is hired as a brain surgeon and fulfills a lifelong dream to become a doctor. Shortly after becoming a brain surgeon, unfortunately, she is diagnosed with dementia, which is a little bit bad if she's working on people's brain. Nobody can help her with that, and I assume this is what's going to end her life, probably. But while she's at a festival, she encounters a lion, which she does try to rescue. She loves animals, but unfortunately, at the age of 79, she is instantly killed by the lion that she tries to save. So that was the life of Isabella Heron Walker. She had quite a good one. A lot happened. It wasn't without its trials and tribulations, but overall I feel like she really got a lot done. I hope you guys liked this super weird video. I just thought it would be fun to try to illustrate along with this game because I saw it was getting pretty popular, but it didn't have any real drawings along with it. It was just basically like emojis and text, so I thought it would be perfect to add some art to it. Let me know if you liked the video. It was kind of an experiment, and if you have any ideas for future videos that you want me to do, please let me know down below. I'll see you guys in the next video. Big thank you to all of my patrons, including Bella Story, Kelpompom, Cassitarius, Clockwork Construct, Dionysus, Hagarillis, Dr. Casket, Elizabeth Alvin, Hope Chilsum, Imagine Creation, JJJ, Joseph Copel, Carla Tapia, Cat Did That, Curedid, Megan Claire, Midnight Doodles, Micah Dactyl, Okamore, Ollie, Rome Espinoza, Rosie Warlock, Sergeant Pendulum, The Artsy Moose, Your Boy ST, and Zoe Stardust.